Welcome back everyone, and it's time to go balls deep. And in this video we are talking about Samurai 8 chapter 2. These videos will be featuring both me and Yusuf together in a podcast fashion, exploring our thoughts, but we will also explain and analyze the manga for you. So if you don't know what Samurai 8 is and why we are talking about it, Samurai 8 is the new manga by Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto and Boruto. So Samurai 8 currently only has 2 chapters and you can literally read it for free. Check out the pinned comment to read the chapter and then join us on a weekly basis on Mondays to form this great community and we can all have a jolly good time. This video was made possible by Anime Ryo. If you want anime clothing, then check it out and use the code ABDSquad for 10% off your whole order.
The story of Samurai 8 revolves around a universe where humans has broken through into a galactic society, and it seems like it has been like that for a couple of generations or so. And a long time ago, the universe was in danger, but thanks to the legendary warrior god Fudomayo, the universe and the stars were saved with the help of opening the Pandora box. However, at the current time, it seems that the stars are once again in danger, and the Pandora box has to be opened once more, but it requires 7 keys to open the box, and these keys are the core of samurais in this universe. However, these keys has to be from certain worthy samurais, possibly who will lay down their lives to save others. This mission was given to a samurai Daruma by his master Yasha. However, because Daruma is trapped in a weaker body, to make things easier and help him with his mission to find the chosen samurai, he creates a video game which he distributed on the galactic net, where we ended up with our main protagonist, Hachimaru, a boy born in a weak body who desires nothing but to be a samurai. Hachimaru is one of the #1 gamer in the world and ends up becoming one of the players of this game. But guys, long story short, Hachimaru becomes the first of 7 samurais to Daruma's quest. After he sacrificed his life to save his father, he was granted a samurai's body, and that is where our story begins. Now, a lot of you still have some questions about what happened during the end of chapter 1. Like, what happened to the Ronin, and was the first key Daruma was referring to the Ronins or Hachimaru? Well, to clear that up, just look at this panel. The first key is Hachimaru. The Ronin and his key returned and reformed into a locker ball itself. As you can see from this panel, this would make sense, as if keys were required, then a concept of a samurai hunter would be formed to kill samurais to obtain keys. Whereas instead, it seems when a samurai dies as a process, their key returned to its original state of a locker ball or something to an effect. Not to say that in the future there won't be another way to obtain keys by killing samurais. Like, it's possible guys, it's still possible. Now, another question from the last chapter was about why is there only 7 keys required when the series is called Samurai 8? Well, as of yet, anything we say is based on speculation, but here's a couple of theories. There are actually 8 keys needed, as the Pandora box has 8 sides, where Daruma himself could be that 8th key. Another theory is that Samurai 8 literally refers to the 8 Bushido codes, which we might discuss in another video in more detail. And lastly, Samurai 8 could also refer directly to Hachimaru, as numerology has a huge importance in Japanese Chinese culture, and Hachimaru has the number 8 in his name. Either way, we won't know until later in the series. Who knows, this whole mission to open the Pandora box might have more twists and turns.
Now, coming to chapter 2, there is a lot of great dialogue and world building by Kishimoto. When this gets animated, it truly will look outstanding. This chapter does a great job of developing Hachimaru's character. For example, it does not forget about his disabilities and showcases to us that his deep desire to be samurai was actually genuine. It actually puts his character in a position where he will be able to understand other humans suffering much better, therefore making his talk no jutsu like Naruto be more relatable and justified. Hachimaru will not come across as a judgmental character, but rather sympathetic. We can literally put ourselves in his shoes, as he states in the chapter, "I have never eaten solid food before and it tastes amazing." On top of that, he has never slept properly or had a good night's rest due to always being on life support. So this allows us to understand his point of view on why in the previous chapter he was so fed up with life, he did commit the Unpacking for his father to prove to him how much he loves him, and he would rather give up his meaningless life for him. But on the contrary to everything and him performing this, by giving up his life, he now became a samurai and has meaning. In fact, now he has to save the world and is on a journey to open Pandora's box with his master Daruma. I feel as though Hachimaru says what is on his mind and he isn't really afraid of saying what he thinks. And now this is great because we are exploring this world with him. We are Hachimaru himself. We as readers have also never explored this galaxy or met other people or the culture or technology Prodigy. Now joining him on this journey, when he asks questions and he says things to characters, it's the questions we would ask ourselves since we are ignorant. Kishimoto will use Hachimaru's character as a viewpoint person that will put us in his shoes, that can explain the complex story that will unfold. So since Hachimaru is such an ignorant person and he is still young, I also believe in the future this will be his downfall. One of the lessons of life, for example, is to learn from your mistakes and stop being ignorant of something because it will cause harm or trouble to yourself. So in a future chapter, I 100% think Hachimaru's ignorance of the world will cause a problem where someone may take advantage of his powers or his personality, and Hachimaru will learn his lesson from this enemy, and it will be a great character arc and development for everyone.
Alright, so after reading chapter 2, I have to say I'm kind of happy with where it's going. I can actually tell and predict what's gonna happen next.
Wait a second, what do you mean you can tell?
I'm not gonna spoil it for you lot, but I'll get to my point. Because we know we've got a couple of new characters that's introduced, and one of them being Nanashi.
Which means nameless.
Yeah, but coincidentally, Nanashi also has Nana in her name, which can also mean 7 in the Japanese number.
No, yes, are you serious?
Yes. Just like Hachimaru,
so she or he is another key.
Yeah, he is obviously going to be another key. It's kind of obvious where it's gonna go. He's gonna be part of the squad.
Oh, I see what Kishimoto is doing actually. So okay, Nana, this nameless person is gonna be a key. Hachimaru is a key. Okay, so now they need all the different type of people that have keys. But have you noticed that both these people have real life problems, real world problems that we can all relate to? So do you think part of the whole gang that Hachimaru is going to create to open Pandora's box are going to be people that are relatable, that have modern day problems, and that we can see, how can they become a better person? How can they go on this adventure with Hachimaru?
Exactly. No, honestly, that's what's going to be like even the beginning of Boruto, Kishimoto was behind that, and to come up with this character which is so different from Naruto but so relatable to our generation, we can see into the minds of Kishimoto. He's trying to make it more relevant for our new generation, and most of these characters that comes up, it's so obvious what he's doing. She didn't know if she's a female or male, being confused. It was literally confusion because she's trapped in. He was trapped in for 8 years. 8 years that he had no contact with any human being, and finally Hachimaru comes in, drops by, and then when she questioned, I don't know if I'm a male or female, by using the 2 personalities she assigned to her right hand and left hand, Mr. Right and Mrs. Left, Hachimaru instantly said, "What are you talking about? You just need to check what's between your legs." Reaction.
Yeah, that was funny.
that reaction is what happens in our real world. There's 2 groups of people who are confused due to their, they're going through their own inner struggles. They feel one way, but they are depicted as something else, and they think society are labeling them. And end of the day, there's others who are very straightforward, and they can see what's apparent.
But that's what I like about Hachimaru's character. The way that he speaks, where he says, "Oh, this food is on point." I'm like, bro, shit, that's how I talk. And then I'm thinking the writing was really good when Hachimaru comes to this nameless character, because Hachimaru doesn't come across as a judgmental person. If this was written kind of differently, he would come across judgmental to this nameless character who doesn't know. Because nameless says herself or himself that you don't know my feelings, you don't know where I'm coming from. But because Hachimaru says, what are you talking about? He's so blunt and straightforward and says what he's thinking on his mind. He says, "I was just a person that was confused just like you yesterday. This is my first day out in this journey. So why don't you just join me? You might be Then he says, "You're a weird guy." But then he's like, wait, let me not call him a weird guy. He's a normal guy. You're just like me. You're a great person. And then it's good writing by Kishimoto, because Hachimaru just learnt a lesson from his master, talking about the sword. If you don't take your first step, which is a metaphor saying, if you don't take your first step on this journey, how do you know? It's a what if question. Stop doing a what if.
Oh yeah, I love that quote. Man, was it? If you don't unsheathe your sword from the sheath, you won't know how finely it can cut.
Exactly. And then he says that to Nameless, and then Nameless is like, "Oh shit, this relates to me so well. I understand where this guy's coming from. Maybe he does understand me." And then he takes his first step outside of Hachimaru. I was like, "Oh, this is good writing." He's flying Kishimoto used that as a establishing
Yeah.
shot and bird's eye view.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So it was so sick.
I really did notice that. I'm like, I can see that. You can see from the top up where you can see the buildings, the blimps or the spaceships on the sky, and then also it was a good introduction to the Yasha style loyal dormitory, yeah, where the warriors of the Agaki Castle, Bushi Legion, wherever they trained, yeah, that place. Basically, it shows that there's a lot of Bushis that go to a school just to be trained to be samurais, because everyone, or trained to be a good bushi, because that shows how prevalent these bushi / samurais are to this world.
Yeah, and how the concept of samurai is prevalent across the whole universe. Fudo Mayo is this legendary character, so now it makes sense that Hachimaru is into samurai himself, because the whole freaking planet is into samurai, right?
100%.
And Yasha style is derived from that black samurai that we saw in the beginning. She is the creator of this Yasha style, it seems, and it's a doctrine, it's a ideology and a school of thought that the whole world knows about. And Hachimaru got the freaking teacher of Yasha style, one of the top 2 second disciple or something, right?
Yeah. Daruma. But I think honestly there's obviously different styles, not just Yasha style. Like earlier we were discussed.
There's many school of thoughts. There's many school of thoughts.
Just he's so. Oh yeah, another thing is that my man suddenly he got, he was in the beginning he was talking about how the sword that he has is just a model sword.
Right.
Yeah. And Daruma said, and he gave Daruma gave him that quote, and then he actually tried to cut something, and he cut it so well.
Yeah, it's like he's some prodigy. He was the chosen one. It's like some Luke Skywalker Star Wars shit.
Exactly, like he had no training, he did nothing. All he did was suddenly he became a samurai, and he's OG, he's OP.
Yeah, he's OP. Hachimaru is OP. He's above Bushi level already, and this is why it's his chosen concept. Is very, you can tell it's very inspired from Star Wars, and Kishimoto admitted that he is inspired from Star Wars, because it looks like
but even Luke had to go through some training. Anakin had to go through some training, but Hachimaru, my man, does one slice, he cuts it off clean the cup. I'm like, what's going on?
No. I can explain that. Because Kishimoto's basically saying that he was playing video games so much and he had so much training in the actual virtual reality that those skills transcended and went into his real body. That's what he's saying.
Okay, maybe.
Because in the first chapter he defeated that Ronin with the abilities he used in the game. So Kishimoto is saying this is an intergalactic story. This is about many planets. There's so many different species, so many different races. There's so much advanced technology. In the MCU Marvel movies, one of the best films in the Marvel universe is Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the best, right? I'm getting a lot of Guardian of the Galaxy vibes from this story, and basically what I'm hoping for in the future of this manga, that some of his friends are alien, different species type characters. What do you think?
I don't know,
because then they can explore humanity, then they can explore interspecies racism, then he can explore all these philosophical aspects, and it will increase Kishimoto's design and creativity, and what powers he can introduce.
No, seriously, I do want that, but then I go back here and then I look at the last chapter where the Ronin mentioned that humans, you used the word humans, or maybe it's that specific translation of Viz, that humans can become bushis and samurais.
Yeah.
Now I'm hoping he just done it as he just made it as a narrow translation or whatnot, but it's possible other species can become samurais.
So there's this Ronin character, right? So this is telling me 100% in the future there's gonna be a Ronin organization, just like an intergalactic Ronin people that have these samurai powers, because Pandora's box is about how there's so much destruction, there's so much war, and Pandora's box is the answer by Fudo Mayo to save the whole world. So obviously there must be an evil organization that there must be hundreds of Ronins, similar to the Akatsuki, similar to how in every single anime, like Boku no Hero has the what's it called in Boku no Hero? In Star Wars there's Darth Vader and all his stuff. So that's definitely gonna happen in the manga in the future too. Okay, I have one final point about Hachimaru, right? I feel as though Kishimoto is Hachimaru Boruto done right. Think about it, right? When Kishimoto created Boruto, we were following Naruto as a character for 15 years. We loved this guy. He became Hokage. Then Boruto was introduced and he's disrespecting Naruto straight away. He's painting on his face. He's calling him, oh, I hate this guy. I don't respect him. So that lost the old fan base because it's coming from a place where Boruto seems privileged, right? Because he has the
Yeah.
best genetics, he's so gifted, and he still disrespects Naruto's character. We don't know anything about Boruto. When Hachimaru does the same thing, I think Kishimoto learned from his writing skills. He said, when Hachimaru says to his father, I hate you, but we see it as he is coming from a place of love, because he knows, look, he has nothing, he's a useless guy, he can't even go outside, he's never experienced anything, he's never eaten food.
Bro, he was eating freaking liquid diet.
Exactly.
Apple, man.
So
He didn't
Hachimaru
even
is a
speak
more
properly.
likable character than Boruto
Yeah.
within the first 10 chapters. That's gonna happen. What do you think?
I think it's 100%
He's more
true. I mean,
relatable.
but I think, no, I don't know. At the same time, I feel like Boruto is kind of more relatable to the newer generation, where hardship is not really portrayed. Like in the newer generation, they're kind of spoon-fed and they're kind of in the world of peace.
Yeah, Mirai
Where-
Sarutobi admitted it in the episode.
Yeah, that exactly. Whereas Hachimaru, in his character, look, my man never had one real good night of sleep. He
I
had
know,
a big
that
giant
was
ass
crazy.
cord. He had one. Imagine you never had good sleep.
I was
because of a
thinking
big
about
cord in your
that. I was
back.
thinking about that, honestly.
I don't know how can you live. That's like Gora. That's Gora's life, man.
Oh my god.
Man, he didn't taste real food.
I know, and now
For the first
Hachimaru, you know what it is? Now Hashimaru, everything that we take for granted in life, Hashimaru doesn't take for granted, and he's gonna teach these lessons to all these characters in this materialistic world.
Yes.
That's what
100%,
Kishimoto is trying to
100%.
say.
Alright guys, that's it for this review and discussion on chapter 2 of this Samurai 8 manga. We are going to do chapter 3 next week. Make sure to follow us and keep up to date. Read this manga with us. We're putting the link down on the comment section and it's free. You got nothing to lose, yeah? Alright then, see you guys till next time.